Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is Round Our Way. Joining me, as always, is my good friend, David Scott. How are we doing?
Very, very good, thank you. Yeah, I'm more optimistic than last time I spoke to you.
When's the last time? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, winning football matches consistently? It takes a bit of getting used to. And also, we've got a guest with us as well. We've got former Premier League striker and big United fan, Nathan Ellington. How's it going?
Doing very well, especially the fact that we're winning all the time at the minute. So, yeah, really happy.
Really good to have you on as well. You've got your own YouTube channel. I've put a link in the chat to Nathan's YouTube channel. Go and check that out. Always some good stuff on there. And make sure you are getting involved in the comments and the chat. We're going to be talking, obviously, about Manchester United and the strikers, because you're a former striker yourself, so you'll know a lot about this. Looks like Wout Weghorst, we'll start with you, Nath, is about to become a Manchester United player any day now. What do you make of that move?
When I first heard of it, obviously I was thinking, let's find someone else. But and the fact that he was at Burnley, and I remember him actually doing well against Maguire of all players. And I thought, wait a minute, let's see how good he is. I don't know really too much about him, so let me go on YouTube and have a little watch. And I did have a little look at him, and I thought, you know what? He's very good with his head, 6'6". He's good with his feet as well. He's actually very good in the box, so he is a proper number 9. And he can do a job in there. The only question is do we have the players that are going to provide him them opportunities in that box? And that's the thing that I've always thought. We're kind of like a team that don't really play like that, if you get what I mean. We don't play fluid like a Man City or an Arsenal, who actually are playing for their players in the box. And I just want to see. It's good to have someone like that as a different option from Martial. So yeah.
Do you think we don't play like that because we haven't got that number 9? Obviously, from my point of view, it looked like that Ten Hag's building a system towards having that sort of pivotal person, but he can't play that full out because we haven't got that sort of strength, have we? And I think that's where Martial's lacking up front. But yeah, the stats of him's really good. I was a bit like yourself, seeing who he played for and where we're getting from, and I thought it's another case of Igalo 2.0.
Yeah.
You know what?
I did when I was thinking, really, but when you scratch beneath the surface, because it's easy to sort of just focus on the Burnley spell, and the numbers aren't great, are they? But you look at it, I think it was 2 goals in 20 games for Burnley, you think, that's not great. But then you look at what he's done in Germany. I think there was, I'm just looking at it, I'm looking at it on my screen. 20 goals in 34 appearances for Wolfsburg a couple of seasons ago. So he obviously can score goals.
Yeah, and United seems to be struggling at the moment to be able to score within that sort of the 6-yard box, or score scrappy and ugly goals. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the goals we scored last night, they were great, but on the break, or they were from outside the box, and we have been missing that sort of number 9. And it just sort of shows, from my point of view, how we've progressed. That our number 9 is probably the only problem that we're talking about. You couldn't have said that 12 months ago at Old Trafford, could you?
I think me and Nathan were talking before we went on air. We were talking about how, was it Ralph Rangnick said we needed 9 players or something?
He wasn't wrong though, was he?
Yeah, he was just open, innit? Open and honest about it.
It's like we signed about 6 and we needed another 3. So yeah, he kind of had a point. I remember at the time thinking, really, but yeah, it sort of looks like he's right on that front. On the number 9 front, Scotty, is this just a backup to Martial? Do you think there's any danger that this is going to be where an option where Ten Hag may go, I'm going to prefer him to Martial?
I think Ten Hag will go with whoever's scoring the most goals up front. I think Martial's not doing himself any favours with the form that he's showing so far. I think all of us had a new sense of optimism given his form in the pre-season. Unfortunately got the injury, but I just feel like it's time's running out for Martial. Every time he's come in, especially post-World Cup, he's sort of flattered to deceive.
What do you reckon?
You know what? It's a weird one, because Martial is not your conventional striker, but what he does give is good hold-up play. He does link up the play well. And when I watch the strikers, because I used to be a striker, I'm watching what he's doing, how he's getting hold of the ball, how he's bringing others into play, and how he's making others have to stay honest. So it opens up the doors for people like Rashford to get more options, to get more open play. And also Antony on the other side. So although he might be having a quiet game, sometimes it actually, because he's just on the pitch, it opens up everything for Rashford and Antony. And then, because he's not conventional, you get upset when he doesn't score the header, point-blank header. He should get his head on it, when Antony should have scored as well in that game, against Wolves. He should have scored that. And he's missed a few of them kind of chances, the bread and butter, proper number 9 goals. Yeah. But he scores the other goals that number 9s don't often score. So that's the kind of thing where you feel like, bloody hell, we need a proper number 9. And then when he scores the other ones, you've got people on both sides of the fence who say he is great for us, but then he's not really what we need. And that's the problem we've got with Martial. Then when you bring Weghorst into it, it's like he is going to bring that number 9 stuff. And like I said, I don't even look at the stats when I look at goals. The goals, I look at the type of goals that they're scoring. How is his technique? How is his finishing when he gets it? How quickly does he shift it onto one foot and score? That's what I'm looking at. And from what I can see, he's going to give us a different dimension. And it's not going to be a case of backup or who's backup. It's just he's another option. When we're playing in a game and we need someone like that, you might just throw him on. Martial's playing quietly, take him off, bring Weghorst on, let's see something happen.
Yeah.
I think that's what will happen.
Especially when you look at the creativity that we've now got in our midfield with the likes of Eriksen, Bruno and Casemiro can put a decent ball into the box.
100%.
When we're like 10, 15 minutes and we're chasing a goal, Martial, I know what you mean in terms of him dragging players out and allowing Rashford to cut inside. But when we are chasing that one goal, they dink over the box. So it's definitely something we need. And I agree with you, Nathan, in terms of why we can play one or the other depending on who the opposition is.
And we need it as well because regardless of whether you love Martial or you don't think he's good enough, injury-wise, he hasn't been great this season. He's missed a lot of the season, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So you can't just keep putting Marcus down the middle every time Martial gets injured. We're crying out for another option. At least we've got that now with Weghorst. It looks, to all intents and purposes, everyone's tweeting like Romano and everyone else that deal should be getting done any day now. I'd be very, very surprised if it doesn't get over the line. Josh W in the chat has been a member of the first team for 13 months. Thanks for your support. Says United winning, Rashford imperious, Baldy's best, Jay and Ten Hag prove it every day. Up the Paddock, up the Scotty and Motty, and some nice emojis. Yeah, thanks for that, bro. Don't forget to check out Scotty and Motty. We're back on Friday on our other podcast. A few people saying they're confident for Saturday getting into all that. Do you know what? We'll talk about it now. We'll just talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk about some other things in a minute. But I'm going to ask you a little bit about the derby because it is looming. Obviously, Saturday, I think it's the early kickoff on Saturday. We've had this run, Nate, I'll start with you, where we've had a lot of wins, but the games that, at least on paper, you think United should be beating these teams.
Exactly,
You know, the toughest one was probably Wolves away, wasn't it? But then Bournemouth at home, Burnley at home, Charlton at home, Forest, you're looking at them going, okay, yes, it's good we're winning games, obviously, and in the past United have dropped points against teams we should beat, but we haven't had a massive test. This is going to be a big test.
It's going to be a major test. You know, whenever we play against the big boys, you know, when I was young growing up, I used to always feel confident we were the ones who were favourite to win games. City still have that feeling. Even though they've played against Everton and drew 1-1 somehow, I always look at it and think, how is it that we're going to come into this game and I'm feeling like we could get ripped apart again? Like, we just could. Because on any given day, that's what City can do. They just did it to Chelsea with their reserves. Yeah. Now, we come into that game with all our players fit, everyone ready, we could still get battered. And that's the thing. I think we're not close enough yet to them. We're not at them levels yet. I hope we can do ourselves more justice this time round. And I just hope that happens, really. And it's just inside me. I don't feel very confident, even though we've come off such a good run. It's weird. I feel.
No, I mean, I get it. And you look at the record, especially at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
In the derby, it's woeful, isn't it, really? That record we've had over the last sort of few years against City. Funnily enough, we had a little sort of spell at the Etihad where it wasn't too bad, under Solskjaer, where we won a few games, but our record at Old Trafford isn't great against Manchester City. And also, like Nathan said, they've had some good results recently against Chelsea, and they'll be up for this.
Yeah, I mean, City will rightly be confident going into the game, but I don't think United could be any better prepped in terms of our running into the derby. I understand why fans are getting overly confident. I'm really trying to temper my own sort of optimism that we could actually do something, but it's the players' confidence that I worry about, whether they're going in and thinking, looking back at what they've achieved and wondering if they've got enough to go on and get something against City, because the performances have been great. The football's definitely improving, but it is another step up from beating the likes of who did we play last night? Did you watch a lot? Charlton and Forest.
Yeah, memorable game.
Within 24 hours, he's forgot. But it's a big game for the defence, I think, and I'd like to see the players that played against City when we got absolutely done over. You'd feel hurt by that, wouldn't you? So you want to get back out on that pitch, and the last thing you want is another humiliation. If we got beaten, it's a 1-0. Do you know? If we don't get torn apart, then I think that might be a decent.
Yeah. Remember, Casemiro wasn't playing in that game.
A lot of people criticised Ten Hag for that decision, didn't they? So that would be interesting to see that. But we're in such a better place than we were. Yeah. And I think as well the last derby, am I right in thinking that we had to do that 2-week break for the Queen, and we were actually on a decent run leading up to that. So that took the wind out of ourselves a bit. So it might have been a different game, but yeah, I mean, Casemiro back in that midfield. You got to hope City are having an off day, and then United are sort of like throwing everything out.
Yeah, as I was going to say, the thing is, when it comes to chances, we've got to be really clinical in these kind of games. And that's where I don't see us yet, really. We haven't got there yet in terms of that part of our game. And I feel like that's what's going to be the part that makes it where they're more favourite in my mind. I feel like they're going to be favourite because if they get a chance, it's more likely to be a goal. We probably need 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And how often does City give you... Well, to be fair, they've given people chances more than ever before. So maybe we can catch them on an off day and get a goal up, and then we'll feel like we can hold on to it or even get another one with them pushing forward.
Yeah.
So I hope it turns out like that.
And it's where our goals are going to come from. They expect it to go through Rashford and stuff. Have you noticed anything in the sort of change in tactics within the box as a striker? Because I've noticed the last couple of games, they seem to be passing a lot more within the 18-yard box than shooting. And I wonder if that's because there isn't anyone with like a clinical right or left foot. It just seems to be a lot more playing around the box rather than taking shots. Maybe it is.
Obviously, you play to your strengths, and with what we've got in the box at the moment, you don't want to be crossing balls in and to nobody. So, especially once we get the Weghorst in, maybe we will be changing our game a bit. Maybe we might even see an Antony go to the left at times where he can get down and cross balls in with his left foot, because we know if he goes on the outside, he's not going to be using his right foot at all.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about we need quality from the width to be able to feed that number 9.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've quite got that right yet. I watch Arsenal play and they've got it right. I watch City play, they've got it right. They get it out to their wingers very quickly and allow them to be one-on-one, and they actually have some end product, a lot of end product, more consistent than us at the moment. So if we can get that, I think that's when we really become dangerous, and we then can look like real serious title contenders.
I've got some comments here before we move on. Santa Not says we are just a bit better than we've been. A way to go still to be fully competitive in the league. I think that's pretty fair. David Harrington says Scotty looks like Ant Middleton. Have you had that before?
Yeah, and I told the last person to fuck off.
Right, okay, fair enough. I don't know much about Ant Middleton, but yeah, it's obviously not a compliment anyway. So, fair enough. Sorry, I barely know who that person is. Colin Wilmot has been a member of the academy for 15 months, says, if we take 7 points from the next 3 games, then I'll go turbo giddy for the rest of the season. 21 is coming. Bro. Colin, you went there. Don't whisper that quietly. Get the sausage rolls in the oven. I tell you what, if we beat City, Palace and Arsenal, then maybe I might start getting a little bit giddy, but that's a massive if. And is it really going to happen? Anyway, never mind about 21 is coming. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. When did you stop saying Happy New Year, by the way?
I got told off for saying it yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I said it's too late.
Do you have a cut-off point with Happy New Year?
For me, I don't even need to say Happy New Year because I don't even go by that calendar.
Oh, do you not? Oh, then.
So yeah, it's a bit different for me.
Yeah, well, trust me, if you did, you probably wouldn't be saying it the 11th of January. But anyway, Happy New Year from our friends at Manscaped. The ball has officially dropped, but that doesn't mean you have to drop the ball on your balls in 2023, yeah? Whether you had a good New Year's Eve kiss or not, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming have you covered for your much-needed resolution of bringing sexy back, yes? Join the 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code MOTTY20. Yes, I finally got my own code on this channel. Never mind Howson and Paddock and Devils and all that nonsense, yeah? MOTTY20. Use that code on manscaped.com. There's a link in the description and you get 20% off and free shipping. Let's have a toast to New Year. Oh, there you go.
There we go. That's our prayer time's come through. I don't know what's happening here. Go on.
A toast for New Year, new you, and a new you with no pubes, because for the new year, you get the Performance Package 4.0. You've got the Lawnmower 4.0 package that's got the advanced skin safe technology. You've got the anti-chafing boxers. You've got the Weed Whacker. You've got the Crop Preserver. You've got the Crop Toner. You've got the Premium Body Wash 2-in-1 shampoo, the Body Deodorant. You've got it all, yeah? So these products are absolutely perfect for your follow-up gym sessions, yeah?
Right, okay.
Do you know gym sessions, me mate?
Jim Beam.
I only go to the gym to have a coffee. But if you want to go there and look well, then you can use Manscaped. There's a link in the description, yeah? Cheers to new balls in 2023. Make sure you check it out. You get the Performance Package 4.0, the Anti-Nick technology, the Skin Safe technology, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Tover, the Boxer Briefs, all that good stuff. Free shipping, 20% off. Using the code MOTTY20, your balls will thank you.
It's a good resolution to have that, isn't it? I think the balls are sort of overlooked.
Yeah, because
I think,
you always look very good facially. Like
You want to look at my balls?
well, I've already seen it. We're friends.
I manscape.
Yeah, so do you make sure that you're looking
Yeah.
top throughout?
It's like
Good
a
to know.
turkey's neck.
Nath, it's your first time on the channel, so I won't ask you. Yeah, we'll save that for another time.
Might
yeah?
have to get some Manscaped from you there, you know.
Big shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring the channel. Thank you. Right, let's move on a little bit anyway. If we can have a look. Right, now, this one has been doing the rounds, right, for the last week or so. I'm still sceptical it'll ever happen. Harry Kane. I'll start with you, Nath. United have been linked with Harry Kane. Do you see it happening? Because it seems like one of those where you go, if this was like under Fergie, you'd go, okay, who's banging in loads of goals for Spurs? We'll get him. And we used to do that. We did it with Teddy Sheringham, we did it with Matar Berbatov. Now it's different. Harry Kane obviously was going to move to City. He didn't. There's talk that maybe this summer Manchester United could come back in for him. Do you see it happening?
You know what? I think it can happen now because of what's happened in the last few years of him talking as if he wanted to leave. So now it's not so hard for him to mention it again at the end of the season, if, when they finally finish below us again, for sure. They're not coming above us this year. And he's going to realise he needs to move on if he wants to win things. And we need a striker. Yeah. We need that striker who's our main man who's going to get 30 goals, not 15 to 20.
That's a great
25 to 30, 35. Let's say if he plays all season in a team like that, that's what he can do. And I believe it's possible and it's something that seems realistic. And he is. We know what he can do. We know exactly what he can do. Left foot, right foot, header, and he can come deep, link up play. He's got everything you need, apart from what I like in a striker as blistering pace. Yeah. If he has that as well, I'd be happier, even happier.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that he doesn't possess. But if we can be a team that can give that ball to him with quality, he will work out for us.
Scotty, what do you reckon?
Yeah, we definitely need him. If you look at, obviously, Man City were in for him before they went and signed Haaland. And if we're looking to try and compete with Man City, then we needed a striker to go up against Haaland. So it makes sense. It makes sense for that. Looks like Conte could possibly be going in the summer as well. So it might be in the Spurs are going to have to go through another reshuffle of the squad. Does Harry Kane want to hang around with that? For me, it could look like the sort of Van Persie move because he's of an age. Do you know what I mean? And
that works out well, doesn't it?
And how much they're talking? 80 million.
Something like that.
That's the only bit I don't like.
We just spent 80 million on Antony. So if 80 million pushes you towards a title charge,
I'll be honest.
That's 22. How long are you going to last for 80 mil? Is that worth it?
Do you think though? Using the Van Persie analogy, I think Van Persie was around 27 mil for a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
In this day and age, that is around 80 mil. That is around that sort of
I think Van
figure.
Persie only had a year left on his contract.
So would you think that if you're going to get, say, 2 seasons out of Harry Kane where he's at this very top level, is that worth it? Is that worth 80 mil?
I was just looking at the Haaland situation and they've got him for the next 10, 12 years. And obviously they got a great deal because of his clause in his contract. But I want a player who we can just go, you know what, we've spent that big money and we don't have to think about that position again for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And this obviously it's a tough one. But I want an Mbappe in the middle. I'm telling you.
Tell you what, I hope you get your wish. I don't think I'll be complaining. We've not got Harry Kane.
You should aim higher, I think, Nathan. Lower them expectations,
you know what I mean?
Hey, we're Man United. Come on.
Killing Mbappe.
We got to go for that.
I mean, come on.
Where's he going to go, though? Where's he going to go? Okay, Real Madrid, maybe.
I don't know. Do you reckon he's going to go? I'm not saying he's going to come to us, by the way, before people. Obviously, it'd be great if he did. Mbappe.
What, is he going to sell himself? Is that how it works? Doesn't he own half of PSG? I can't get my head around that. He seems like he's more trouble than he's worth. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but I just can't see him ever coming to Man United.
My missus is in the chat.
I can't either, but
you can dream, innit?
I've just seen, I've lost the thing now. My missus is in the chat saying that my 12-year-old daughter was watching this cringing. I think that was about the Manscaped advert. So
oh, wow.
Sorry, you had to see that. You don't usually watch the channel.
There's a conversation.
I'm looking forward to getting home tonight and explaining that one to her. Ed says, actually, Jay, with inflation, RVP only about 36 million today. So
there's always
sorry.
one.
Yeah, so sorry. Finances was never my expertise, so thanks for putting me right there, Ed. Apologies about that. Me and you was chatting earlier, and you mentioned about Antony. Antony's a player. I heard a shouting, take a breath there, Nate. Antony's a player who's come in, big price tag, got a few goals early doors, scored the other day as well against Everton. Everton. Did he score against Charlton?
Yeah, Charlton and Everton.
I'm like you, I watched that game and I've just forgot about it. He's dividing opinion a little bit. I've noticed that. I've noticed it online. I've noticed it at the game when, sort of stood in Old Trafford. A few people like, have we overpaid? Is he consistent enough? All this other stuff. He's obviously young and he's got a long way to go. What have you made of him so far at Old Trafford?
I think he's come straight in and he came in with confidence, scored that goal against Arsenal, was all buzzing about him. Looking at his highlights from YouTube at his time at Ajax, you could see what he's about. And he brings that balance to United's side, to the right side, where you have to stay honest. You do, because when you get the ball out there, two players have to come over. It means that when the ball gets switched, then it's obviously better for other players. So I think he's brought that to the side. He looks very, very good, but then I was waiting to see when he's going to start going on the outside. And the thing is, I'm still waiting. And it's been too long. And I was thinking, we're getting a player. To be honest, I thought when Sancho came, we was getting a player that's going to run at you, get the ball in isolation and run at you. Yeah. Like a St. Maximan. Like a what's Wolves striker now, the guy who's 100 miles an hour? Adama Traore, yeah?
Hopefully with a bit more end product. Than
exactly
Traore,
my point.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. He's got this kind of player who loves to get one-on-one and will tear you up. So the fact that we could see what he does when he comes inside, curls the ball, he's got that in the locker. But then we was like, right, when's he going to take someone on out the outside? And he's got no right foot. For me, he's got no right foot. What I'm seeing in him is his left foot is pretty good, is okay. It's not amazing. And when you're only one-footed, you need to have a wand. For me, you need to have a wand, like Rivaldo, like a Beckham. These players made it count. Valencia.
Yeah, the right wand of Valencia.
Valencia? Where did he come from?
Most one-footed right-back United have ever seen. Left-back, was it left-back?
Right back, right wing.
He had a great wand of a foot.
Sorry, together with you and Tony Valencia.
No, he came after me.
Yeah, I was about to say,
because
I didn't think you passed across.
Oh, my God.
I never know what you're up to.
Me neither.
What do you make of Antony? Because it seems to me a little bit. I was chatting before and I said there's a touch of the nannies about him, not in the style. I mean, the fact that 1 minute he do something, you say, "Oh, mate, you see that," and another minute you're like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" It's very sort of a live wire.
Yeah, do you not? I mean, where Nathan sat now was Joe McGrath on the watch along last night, and he was very similar, saying that he's been unimpressed with Antony this season. He wants to see more, and I understand that. I think when you look at YouTube highlights, obviously they just put like all the tricks and stuff like that.
You need to stop doing that, Dave. You've said that a couple of times.
I'll tell you in a second. I'll let you say
I'm warning you about this because I watched Gabriel Obertan on YouTube, right? And it was amazing.
Let me just start. This wasn't a slight at your research. This wasn't a slight at your research because we're all guilty of it. When you mentioned Nana, because I remember when we're like seeing all this stuff. Or Anderson even was
Yeah, I'd tell you what.
I like them too as well, by the way.
Yeah, no, they were good players, but when they first came, I thought
Anderson.
Put
their highlight reels
together.
Like John O'Shea's got the best highlights reel ever. Like, I know he's a good player, but he's got like nutmegging Figo, goal against going in goal.
Arsenal.
But no, I remember Obertan. I think it was Auxerre or whatever it was.
He had crazy pace.
And I was watching it. I didn't know anything about it. I watched it on YouTube. I was like, this kid's got everything, man. We can't believe we're getting him for like 5 million or whatever it is. And he was terrible.
Oh yeah. He was. But what you're saying?
So what's saying because Antony's Brazilian, and there's still this sort of mystique around Brazilian players to be this sort of flamboyant players, but he never was that at Ajax. He was more of a sort of an industrial winger, and I think that's what Ten Hag wants him for. And like you said, he is very balanced and sort of sticks to what he's been asked to do. Do you think that he doesn't whip it in because we haven't got the striker? Could that not be the case? And if you look at his stats, he's scoring goals.
That's a good point because, just on that, before you answer, RJ said Antony had Haller at Ajax. He always whips in crosses it for him. So, do you think that is a thing, or do you think he's just not got that foot?
No, you see, when he cuts in and crosses it with his left foot, he's got that in-swinger. That's fine.
That's what he scored last night, wasn't it?
But he doesn't have... And he also can cross the ball like that, so I've seen him highlight. When I look at the highlights, I don't just look... I know loads of players can look amazing. I'm looking at the technique of what they do. Like, how is his left foot?
Yeah.
How is his right foot? Now we've seen him for a number of games. He doesn't have a right foot. So he doesn't even use his right foot at any time. And that was something that Rashford has started doing even more of now. He's using his left foot. And that's what we want to see Antony be able to do, especially if you're going to take someone on down the line. If you see something, you want to be able to play it.
Yeah.
But what he does is he uses his left foot. But because it's not a wand, he can't use his left foot in an unorthodox way to actually get good quality on it. And that's what I sit there and I go, you've beaten him now. Yes, put him in. And it's a bad ball. And I'm like, oh, man. How are you doing this?
Yeah.
We need more. We need more quality in that area. Yesterday, he's playing against Charlton, what happens when a Premiership side plays against a team in League One. You're filling your boots. That's what you're there for. You're going, listen, this is my game where I get hat-trick. This is my game where I got to score and set up goals for fun. And he had his opportunities to really go at his fullback. And I'm looking at him, and he's got the ball, and I'm like, why are you turning back for? You can take him. Go and get at him. He doesn't do it enough. And that was just what I was frustrated with. I still like him, but he just needs to do more.
As a player, and you've been to several clubs, do you buy into the sort of you need a year to bed into a new system? Because obviously, look at Grealish at Man City last year, didn't have the greatest season, and a lot of expectations. I'm just wondering if there's anything in that.
It depends how the team plays. If it's different from how you play and you have to adjust your game, then yeah. But sometimes you go into something and it's perfect for you. And that's what the sign of a great manager who can bring in that player and go, I need that type of player. He comes straight in, bang, Casemiro. Exactly.
I think, Nathan, I mentioned John O'Shea. I think we've got a picture of you playing against him. I think we've got that picture. Can we see that? If you can move all the thingy out of the way. So, is that you there?
Yes, that's me. Ronnie Warwick, I played with, he was at Man United as well.
So that's you for, will that be you for West Brom then, I take it, in the Premier League at Old Trafford?
Yes, and I would have scored in that game, I think.
Yes.
I scored in the game, both games, at home and away. Header. So
what was that like then, playing against United as a fan and scoring against United as well?
It's amazing because it's weird because as well we lost as well, so I still can be happy.
You like that?
You're secretly buzzing.
That's a win-win for you then, wasn't it?
That's what I mean. My team's won and I've won.
It's a bit of a weird one, to be fair. Coming into the stadium in the coach, just looking at the stadium, knowing that's the team I've supported ever since I was 5, it was a weird feeling. And also I used to be good friends with Rio because our 2 sons were in the same class and they were best friends and played for the same football team. So we used to chat as well, and then I'm playing against him on the Saturday, so it was a bit weird as well. But yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Good stuff, man. Before we wrap up, one thing we have to talk about is Marcus Rashford. We're going to talk about strikers. I think we need to talk about attackers, should we say? Talk about his form. He's absolutely on fire. Scoring, 6 or 7 games now? 7 games on the spin. I lost count. He just, he seems to be for me, the best form, or certainly the most lethal form since he's been playing for United. What have you made of this, Scotty? And how confident are you can continue it?
Yeah, long may it continue. It's a complete contrast from the player he was last year under Rangnick. And we were talking about this last night, and obviously he didn't get a pre-season before. He had the back injury and he had to have surgery, so he was coming through a lot. And then you talk about all the turmoil within the dressing room. I think me and you might mention this off camera, that I think he's benefited more than anyone for Ronaldo leaving and coming from with under his shadow, because it felt like Rashford's trajectory was sort of stifled with the arrival of the return of Ronaldo. And before that, it felt like Rashford was going to be the one to where he is now. So I think if anyone's benefited within the team, I think Rashford certainly has, and it's paying dividends off because we're playing some of the best football and he's in the form of his life. Brilliant.
Absolutely. And he seems to be scoring different types of goals as well. So he's got a couple of headers. I didn't see him score a header for about 4 years. He scored 2 in a week.
And they're great headers as well. Proper headers, yeah.
He's running at players. He's couple of poachers goals. He seems to be sort of scoring all sorts of different goals.
Yeah, for me, when he first came through, I just loved what he was about. He was direct, so quick, and he was dangerous against every team. And that's what he's got back to. And like you say, the minute Cristiano came in, it did stifle that front three, who was on absolute fire, scored more goals than Liverpool and City. That's what we was about. And and again, look at how Bruno was. Everybody felt they had to play for Cristiano. Yeah. Any chances, remember that game, I think it was in the Cup, everyone was trying to just pass the ball to Cristiano, even if it wasn't on. Yeah. And that kind of stifles the players like Rashford. Now he's like, I'm the main man. He can walk into Old Trafford knowing he's the main man, and people are going to look to him to do the killing. So yeah, I'm really, really happy for him, because we all know what he was able to do before. Then he went through that spell, and we all knew it wasn't a ability thing. We knew it was maybe a mental thing, or something was going on outside of football, which made him like that. And your point was great there about injuries. The injury number one, and then coming back and not having a pre-season. I remember when Drogba said the same thing about a season he had bad. He said, I didn't have a pre-season. So I realised that was what I really needed to really play the whole season consistently. And Rashford, he's really seeing the effects of it. And long may that continue. Because
and he had the World Cup as well in between, and like his form, and that was great.
That was good as well. I think like mentioning about psychologically, putting that whole Euros thing to bed, getting that goal in the World Cup for England, and then getting star of the match in the Wales game as well, and like just sort of, you know, I don't like using the word redemption because I don't think he had to redeem himself, and it's not like you know you owe anyone anything, but just now we can move on from that Euro final, and you know, as an England player, and you've achieved something in terms of your performances and your goals at the World Cup. It was great to see. So yeah, I'm loving what Marcus Rashford's doing. He deserves it. He's put in the effort, and you can see that what he's worked on and what he's improved on, and hopefully we can see it on Saturday. Let's have some more likes. Over 2,000 people watching. Give us a like. I'm going to put another link in the chat as well to Nathan's channel. So make sure you're clicking on that Dukes United show. So what are you doing on there, Nate? Just tell us a little bit about that. Is that you just reviewing games?
Yeah. So we talk about, we have a weekly show on a Thursday. We talk about the latest things that are going on, pretty much like today as well. So that'll be tomorrow. And then always the previews and the reviews of the games, and we do the match ratings as well. So just talk about exactly what happened in the games, and, you know, from an ex-footballer point of view as well. So that's pretty much what we do.
Good stuff. Always good stuff. Make sure you check it out. Check out Scotty and Motty as well. There's a link in the description for that. Me and him back on Friday, aren't we?
Hopefully.
Putting the world.
Don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe we'll be back on Friday. Fingers crossed. Can I get a prediction before? Because I might not see you before. I'll see you on Friday. Nathan, what do you reckon for Derby then? 4-0, did you say?
No. You know what? I have to see the starting lineup. But if I'm going to have a guess of what the team's going to be, it's going to be a full-strength squad. We're at Old Trafford. I hope we win 2-1.
2-1. I'll go 3-1. United.
3-1 United.
Yeah, man. I just did a thing that I did predict a draw on another preview that I did, so I'll just change it. So I'll cover on my bases.
At least you've got one clip where you can say I predicted this correct score.
Yes,
Brilliant.
I got it right.
I'm going for a scrappy 1-0 win with a Marcus Rashford goal.
I'll say that. I'll
Clean
snap
sheet.
your hand off for that one. Big thanks to Nathan for coming on the channel. Much appreciated. Thanks to Scotty as always. Thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring us. Go and check out the link in the description. 20% off and free shipping using the code MOTTY20. We'll be back next week. We're back later on as well tonight. Me and Joe are going to have Paddock live around, I think it'll be after the City game, so it'll be around 10 o'clock tonight. That's been Nathan Ellington. That's been Dave Scott. I've been Jay Motty. This has been Round Our Way. Thanks for watching.